Welcome to Trucking Great.
Yeah, so this is what a truck stop shower is like at the Lowe's. I don't use Pilot. CFI drivers, we get free shower at the Lowe's because we are automatically Diamond members. Once you're working on a CFI, you become Diamond members, and our Diamond members get free shower, unlimited shower. I can shower here 20 times, 50 times for the day. See? Nice and clean. Big old shower, big old bathroom for yourself. Alright? So, don't think that we're living out here as crafts. Yeah. Yep, shower time. So, shower is done, fresh and clean. Yeah, I done tore this bathroom up. Yep. Now, trucking grade is ready for the road. Let's go. Let's go. Toward this facility. See? Number 3. All of the showers. Yep. All of the showers. Yeah, they got laundry too. Laundry as well. This is a good facility. Look at that. Because that one is all the order. See? And my loves reward card right there. They use and pay for stuff. A washer and dryer. Yep. Alright, so everything again. Ask for. So yeah, fresh, nice shower. And now he's back to the grind. You know, back with the grind. Make some money. I'm definitely gonna do those videos today for those pre-trip inspection. So yeah, this is probably gonna be the intro for that video. Check out Big Bad CFI right there. Haha, Mr. Peterbilt. Alright, it's road time. Alright, what's good, Wagwan? So welcome back to Trucking Great. As promised, this right here is gonna be the very first video of the pre-trip inspection. Alright, I'm gonna tell you how to pass your pre-trip inspection. You understand? And this is gonna be first one of 5 videos, because it's gonna be 5 videos on the pre-trip inspection. Yeah, it's that long. You understand? So I can't do everything in one video. It's gonna take a total of 5 videos. Alright? So yeah, if you have already gone to the DMV and gotten your CDL driver's permit, then congratulations to you. And just know that the very first thing that you're gonna learn, if you whether you choose to go to a truck driver school or a trucking company, the very first thing that they're gonna teach you is the pre-trip inspection. And that involves you learning all the parts of this truck. Yep, all the parts of this truck, every aspect of this truck you gotta know. You understand? Yeah, it's very very it's challenging. It is. It's challenging, especially for someone who have never been in a truck, who is not familiar with a truck or anything like that. Yeah, it's challenging. It was challenging for me, but I did it, so you can do it too. You feel me? So yeah. Um, the pre-trip inspection involves 5 parts. So you got section A, B, C, and if you on exam day, if you are unlucky and you get section D, and section D is is you evaluating the entire truck. You understand? Yeah, that it is gonna require that you evaluate the entire truck if you get section D. If you get section A, it's just the engine compartment. You will have to evaluate. If you get B, it will be from there's a marker light over here on the side of the truck. Yeah, you start from there and it will end at the mud flaps and the tractor and the actual truck, not the trailer, the tractor. That's where section B ends. And if you get section C, that's just evaluation of the trailer itself. So every aspect of the trailer you will have to do. So not the truck, that's the trailer. Now coupling and uncoupling that I showed you, plus in cab, yeah, those are mandatory. Alright? And the thing is, so with the in cab, that's the most important part of the pre-trip inspection. Alright? The lab test, your leaks, your alarm, and your button test. If you mess up anything on that part, automatically fail. Yeah, automatically fail. If you mess up anything on the leak test, you fail. Mess up anything on the alarm test, you fail. Mess up anything on the button test, you fail. You understand? The in-cab, the most important part. You cannot mess up anything on that. That's going to be my last video. Alright? The last video of the pre-trip inspection. So, yeah. But don't worry. There's a lot of parts to learn, but you can miss a few things on the outside of the truck and you'll still be able to pass. You understand? But just remember, you cannot miss anything on the inside of the truck. Any leaks, your alarms, and the button, the lab test. That's what they call it. You cannot mess up on that. It's automatically fail. Alright? So yeah. Let's get started with section A. Alright? Catch you on the outside of the truck. Alright. Alright, so welcome back, guys. Now, when you start in your pre-trip and exam day, you're gonna start at the front of the vehicle. You stand up at the front of the vehicle and get an overall observation of the vehicle. What you look for is to see if the vehicle is leaning to one side. If it's leaning to one side, that would suggest that maybe there is a suspension damage or there may be a flat tire somewhere. Alright, then you look under the bottom of the vehicle. I hope you guys can see, and observe if there is any puddles of water or oil, or if there is any hanging wires hanging from the vehicle. Alright, the next thing you do, alright, is to start your description of the parts at the top of the vehicle, starting with the clearance lights. Those amber color lights at the top of the vehicle, they are called clearance lights. So you say most of the parts when you're gonna describe is you're gonna use the same description. You say that they are properly mounted and secure, they are not broken, cracked or damaged, and you describe them. You say that they are amber in color and tell that they are just some clearance lights. Alright, so let me go over that again. So you say the clearance light at the top of the vehicle, properly mounted and secure, they are not broken, cracked or damaged, and they are amber in color. Then you go down to your windshield. You say that it is properly mounted and secure, it is not broken, cracked or damaged, it is clean and clear of all illegal stickers. Alright, then you talk about the windshield seal. Say that it's properly mounted and secure, there is no abrasion, bubbles or cuts, and it is not leaking. Then you'll talk about your wiper hardware, the wiper frame. Alright, you will talk about the blade of the wiper when you're inside the cab. When you're doing the in-cab inspection, you talk about the blade of the wiper. When you're outside, you talk about the frame. So you say that it is properly mounted and secure, it is not bent, broken or damaged, all the hardware is in place. Then you'll talk about your hood mirror. Alright, you say that it is properly mounted and secure, it is not broken, bent or damaged, and all the hardware is in place. Then you go down to your headlight assembly. All right, you talk about it and say that it is properly mounted and secure. It is not broken, cracked, or damaged. It is clear in color, and all the hardware is in place. All right, you have to talk about your high beam and your low beam as well. Say that it's properly mounted and secure. It's not broken, cracked, or damaged. All right, all the hardware is in place. All right, and say that it's clear in color. High beam, low beam, clear in color. You talk about your reflector, but this right here is reflector light. Hope you guys can see. This one right here, that's a reflector light. You have to describe it as well. So it's properly mounted and secure. It's not broken, cracked, or damaged. It is amber in color, and it's just a reflector light. You go over here to this side right here and say that this is your left turn, your right turn signal. Right, yeah, I'm on the right hand side. So this is your right turn signal. Say that it is properly mounted and secure. It is not broken, cracked, or damaged. It is amber in color, and you have to describe the function for this one. This one have 3 functions. All right, it's your right turn signal, your 4-way flasher, and it is also a marker light. All right, so that would be the descriptions for the front of the vehicle. All right, the next thing you have to do is go to the hood, go to the engine compartment. So you have to raise the wood, the bonnet of the truck. All right, so gotta put on my gloves for this. Got my gloves right here. Now I did my pre-trip inspection on a Freightliner. All right, this is a Peterbilt, as you can see. Dirty truck. I've just been out here for what, 5 days, 6 days now, and look at my truck already. It's crazy, man. These bugs everywhere. All right, so you lift up the bonnet. It's heavy. All right, that's my gloves bar right there, so I won't be touching nothing. Normally, all right, normally on the Freightliners that I did my pre-trip inspection on, my alternator would be right here. All right, so on that, the only thing for the section A that you would have to describe on the passenger side of the pre-trip inspection would be the alternator. All right, your coolant reservoir and your coolant hoses. All right, the exhaust, that's a part of section B, but being that you're already over here, you just get it out of the way and done. You understand? The instructions won't mind you describing it, all right, while you're doing the evaluation, as long as you let them know that, yeah, the exhaust is part of section A. If where this would come in handy is if you get the entire truck. You understand? But if you just get section A, just don't worry about the exhaust. But if you get the entire truck, you have to just get it out of the way from here. You understand? So this is the Peterbilt, and my alternator is not around here. My alternator is on that side of the truck. All right, so it's just the coolant reservoir and the coolant hoses that are over here that I'm gonna describe, and I'm gonna get the exhaust from this video as well. All right, so yeah, so you same description. You say, all right, your coolant reservoir, say that it's properly mounted and secure. It is not broken, cracked, or damaged, and it is not leaking from the cap. It's not leaking from the hoses either. You understand? You gotta observe for that and mention that. You understand? And say that the cap is untied, and say that it is filled between minimum and maximum. All right, so the fill level. All right, that's it for the coolant reservoir and the coolant hoses. All right, coolant hose. All right, so being that my alternator is not over here, go to my exhaust. So you see that the exhaust, it is properly mounted and secure. It is not broken, cracked, or damaged, and it is not leaking as well. If it was leaking, you would see black soot where the clamps are. All right, you'll see black soot leaking out of it, and you will say that you check your exhaust system from the front all the way to the back. All right, your exhaust system comes all the way around here. Hope you guys can see right here. That's the exhaust, and it's the same description. You search for black soot. All right, so that will be it for the passenger side. All right, see that? Easy. That's all they check for over here. Now you go to your
to the driver's side now, it's a whole different ball game. It's a whole different ball game over here. See? This is where the alternator is. And the Peterbilt. And the Freightliner is really over there. You understand? Because they are different engines. I don't know where it's at on the Kenworths, but whatever truck you get or whatever institution you decide to go to, they will teach you all these things. I'm just showing you the basic description that you will use, because it's a general. It's general. It's the same thing for every exam. All right. So I'll start with my alternator over here. So you see your alternator. Say that it's properly mounted and secure. It's not broken, cracked, or damaged. The other is in place. And you have to say that the alternator is belt driven. See the belt right here? Alternator is belt driven. Alright, so you gotta say that. And you gotta say that you have to describe the alternator belt as well. You have to say the alternator belt is properly mounted and secure, is not torn or worn or gyrated. Alright, and when you pull on the alternator, you pull on the belt like that, there should be no more than a 1/4 inch of play. Alright, see? Nice, firm and tight. Alright, you have to describe the alternator wires as well. Alright, you see the wire right there? I hope you guys can see this, man. I don't know. So the alternator wire is right there. So you say that properly mounted and secure. It's not broken, no, there's no abrasion, bubbles and cuts on the alternator wires. Alright, and there's no illegal tape. You understand? There's no illegal tape or exposed wires on the alternator wire. Alright, and you check for corrosion as well. Make sure there is no corrosion. Alright, so yeah, that will be it for your alternator. Now you go to your, let me see, what is this? What is that loose? Oh, I thought that was a wire loose on my truck. Alright, so no. So the Peterbilts here, my water pump is right below my alternator. Alright, so I'm just gonna get that out of the way, as right below my alternator, you know. And the Freightliner that I did my inspection on, it would be just right here. There's no alternator over here, alternator will be over that side. Alright, so I get my alternator, my water pump. Say water pump is properly mounted and secure. Hope you guys can see. Water pump properly mounted and secure, is not broken, cracked, or damaged. And you have to say that the water pump is not leaking. Alright, your water pump is also belt driven. It's the same belt right there, is also belt driven. And you have to do the description of the belt, the same like the alternator. You check for worn or torn or gyratedness, so that it's not gyrated and all that. You understand? So the same description. And you gotta say when you pull on it, there should be no more than a 3/4 inch of play. Alright? That's for the water pump and the alternator. Basically the same description. Alright, and you gotta check for leakness, make sure it's not leaking. Then you go up to your washer fluid reservoir. Alright? Yeah, my washer fluid, yeah, I'm low. I need some washer fluid in this. So same description, yeah, it's properly mounted and secure, it's not cracked or damaged, and it's not leaking. And the cap is untight. And it should fill between minimum and maximum. Yeah, mine is almost empty. So I need to go to the shop and get me some washer fluid. Alright. So after that, you will move over to your engine oil dipstick right here. Say that it's properly mounted and secure, it's not broken, cracked, or damaged, and it's not leaking. And you pull it out. So you pull it out and you will check the fill level. You guys can see this. You check the fill level and it should read between odd and full. Alright, so you wipe it off back and you put it back in. Alright, so after that, yeah, this truck's yard jack is, because I'm at the yard right now. I'm at a Dayton freight yard where I'm picking up an empty trailer actually. So yeah, so back to it, guys. Man, I did this inspection over 8 months ago and I'm a little bit rusty, ain't gonna lie. So yeah, so as you can observe right here in front of me, this is your power steering pump, your power steering reservoir. Alright? So you have to evaluate your power steering pump. So you see this line right here, this hose that leads from the reservoir, you follow it, and that's how you find your power steering pump. See, it's right down there at the bottom down there. I definitely cannot see it, but I can touch it. You can see the SIG is on it. So you described it. Say that your power steering pump is properly mounted and secure, it's not broken, cracked or damaged, and it's not leaking. Alright? Make sure you say that it's not leaking. Okay? And you gotta say that the power steering pump is gear driven. Alright? It is gear driven. It's not belt driven. It's gear driven. Alright? After that, you move on to your air compressor. Okay? Air compressor is back here somewhere. I really don't know exactly where it is, but it's back here somewhere. This is probably a part of it. Alright, but yeah. So you basically do the same description. You say that your air compressor is properly mounted and secure. It is not broken, cracked or damaged, and there's no audible leak. Alright, there's no air leak. You have to always say that, as it's a air compressor. There's no air leak. Alright, and you have to say that it is gear driven as well. Okay. Next, you describe your power steering pump, your power steering reservoir. Say it's properly mounted and secure. It is not broken, cracked or damaged, and it's not leaking. Alright, and it is filled to minimum and maximum. Alright, and the cap is untight. Okay, and you describe the hoses as well. Your power steering reservoir hoses. Yeah, say they are properly mounted and secure. There's no abrasion, bubbles or cuts. Alright, and they are not leaking. Okay, all the other is in place. Okay, then you move down to this big thing right here. This right here, I hope you guys can see. And it's a gloomy day. Sun is just kind of coming out right now, just starting to come out a little bit. Yeah, a while ago it looked like it was going to rain. So yeah, this thing right here is called your power steering gearbox right here. Your power steering gearbox, you're gonna say that it is properly mounted and secure, it's not broken, cracked or damaged, and it is not leaking. I would say it's not leaking because there's fluid going through it. Alright, so yeah, now the next part of this is I'm gonna incorporate like 5 parts together, because the same description for all of them. You understand? It's part of the suspension. Alright, so I say that you're juggling your pitman arm. No, your pitman arm, you're juggling your upper control arm, your lower control arm, and your inner outer tie rod. Alright, so your pitman arm, juggling, upper control arm, lower control arm, and inner outer tie rod. Alright, trust me, it's a lot of things. It took me a while to get these things, man. You know, it took me a while. You know, let's go over it again. So, pitman arm, this one at the top, pitman arm, juggling, upper control arm, lower control arm, and tie rod. Okay, so you see that they are all mounted, they are properly mounted and secure. They are not bent, broken, or damaged, and all the arrays are in place. And you gotta see that they are held in place with castle nuts. You see these nuts right here? Let me see if I can get these nuts. See, you see how they are shaped? They are shaped like castle. So they are called castle nut, and the cotter pin is what held them in place. So they are held in place with castle nuts. See over here again? There's another one over there. Held with castle nuts and cotter pin. The pin that goes straight, so they don't come loose. Alright? So you gotta say that they are held in place by castle nuts and cotter pin. Okay? Alright. So that's it for that. I move over to my leaf spring. Alright, so I'll get the leaf spring mount front and leaf spring mount at the back. Alright, so you see that they are properly mounted and secure, they're not bent, broken, cracked or damaged, or the other is in place. Then I talk about the leaf springs. The reason why the leaf springs is more than one. So one at the bottom and one at the top right here. If I can get it, man, it's camera. So bottom and top. So the leaf spring mount, the leaf springs, so they're properly mounted and secure, they're not bent, cracked or damaged, and they're not shifted, and they are held in place with 2 U-bolts. You can see U-bolts 1, two U-bolts, all right, four washers and 4 nuts at the bottom, all right. So that will be it for that. And then you go up to the shock absorber right here. The shock absorber right here. Say that it's properly mounted and secure, it's not bent, broken, cracked or damaged, and it is not leaking. Believe it or not, there are fluids in there. Okay? And you gotta say that all the hardware is in place. Okay? And I'm getting tired. Next, I just get my brake line hoses right here. Let me see if I can get it. See my brake line hoses. This is the brake line hoses that lead to your brake chamber right here. Alright? So you see your brake line hoses properly mounted and secure. There is no abrasion, bubbles or cuts, and they're not leaking. No air leaks. This is air flowing through these lines. Alright? That's what operate the brakes. Air. Okay? So you go into your brake chamber. There's a single brake chamber on the front of the vehicle, and the drive wheels and on the trailers, they are double brake chambers. There are 2, all right, but there are 1 on the front of the vehicle. So you see your brake chamber is properly mounted and secure, is not broken, cracked or damaged, and it is held in place by 1 C-clamp. This is the C-clamp, all right. This part on the outside of it, that's a C-clamp, okay, and it's not leaking. Okay, all right, there you go to your push rod. This is the push rod right here. All right, so you see that it is properly mounted and secure. It's not broken, cracked or damaged or bent, because the push rod gotta come out and go into the brake chamber, in and out. All right, so you see that it is properly mounted and secure. It's not bent, broken, cracked or damaged. And when you pull on your push rod with the brakes released, there should be no more than 1 inch of play. Alright, no more than 1 inch of play. Alright, so that will be it for that. You go inside now to your brake shoe. Damn, it's too much things, man. The brake, I'm definitely not gonna be able to get all this footage right here, as it's kind of dark and it's awkward. So yeah, so you see your brake shoe and the brake drum properly mounted and secure. Some people call it brake lining. Alright, and say it's properly mounted and secure, it's not broken, cracked or damaged or bent. Alright, and you gotta say that there is no grease or debris present. Okay, and your brake shoe should have a minimum thickness, alright, of 1/4 inch. Okay, so you move over now. You can either describe the tires, or you can go straight to the rims. All right, so but I'm just gonna start with the tires. Okay, so yeah, so you see that your tires properly mounted and secured to the rim. Okay, you see that there's no abrasion, bubbles or cuts, okay, or bulges. Okay, there's no illegal holes or illegal plugs. You understand? There's no illegal plugs or patches. Okay, and your steer tires should not ever be recapped. Okay, all right, and you gotta say that the wearness should be even across, and there should be a tread depth, a minimum tread depth of 4/32. Okay, a minimum tread depth of 4/32. For the drive tires and the trailer tires, there can be a minimum of 2/32. But on the steer one, there should be a minimum of 4/32 tread depth. Okay, all right, it depends on what company you are. That will specify what your inflation rate should be. CFI is 100 psi. Okay, and you check for that from the valves right here, your valve stem right here. You use a tire pressure gauge to check that. All right, and that's it for the tires. You go down to your rim. See that your rims properly mounted and secure. They're not bent, broken, cracked or damaged. All right, there should not be any illegal holes. Guys, they got holes in it. No illegal holes should be there, so you don't bore any other holes in it. There should not be any illegal wells. Okay, and all the hardware is in place. Yeah, that's it. Then you talk about your lug nuts. See them? All the lug nuts right here. say that they're properly mounted and secure, they're not broken, cracked, or damaged, and they should not be too tight. If they're too tight, you will see spider cracks on the rims. Okay, if they are too loose, you will see rust trails. All right, so that's what you're going to check for. Then you're going to check the hubs right here. Your hub seal right here. There's actually fluid in here, so you can actually pull this off, put your finger in there, and check it. Check the level. All right. So you see it's properly mounted and secure. It's not broken, cracked, or damaged, and it's not leaking because there's oil in it. All right. Yeah, and yeah, you have to describe the valve too, the valve stem. So it's properly mounted and secure. It is metal to metal. All right, and make sure it's not leaking. All the hardware is in place, and that would be the end of section A of your pre-trip. And I'm tired. Yeah, and section B is gonna start right here, right at this marker light right here. Yeah, that's be in the next video. All right, guys, catch you.